Okay, guys, now let's head down to Texas and catch up on the latest controversy involving a new law that would require schools, public schools, to display the Ten Commandments, the Christian tenets of their faith, as part of classroom displays. Here's some coverage from News Nation.
Let's take you to Texas now. Lawmakers there just approved a bill requiring every public school classroom to display the Ten Commandments. And while supporters call it a return to moral roots, critics say a court fight is a brewing. Texas is one of a dozen states currently considering this mandate. Lawmakers in 3 states, you got Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, they voted down similar bills. Arkansas is the only state in the country to sign such a bill into law this year.
Well, Senate Bill 10 now heads back to the Senate for approval after an amendment was actually added just yesterday. It's likely then to go to Governor Greg Abbott's desk, who is likely to sign it. But you said that, a myriad of controversy. Critics are like, hey, what about separation of church and state? So here's what the law would require. Every public school classroom in Texas to display a 16 by 20 inch copy of the Ten Commandments using the specific version included in the bill. There's no opt-out option for districts and no penalties listed for noncompliance, but schools must accept donated posters or buy them outright. If approved and signed by the governor, the bill takes effect in the 2025-2026 school year, which is coming up. It's sooner than you think. The school year's over, so September, just a few months away, Marky.
So I'm not a fan of this. I do think this is kind of religious overreach. The Ten Commandments, some of them are fairly uncontroversial, thou shalt not kill, but some of them are explicitly religious and Christian in nature, like keeping the Sabbath holy and not engaging in idolatry and other things. So I don't think that just one version of religion should be enshrined in a public classroom as like some sort of guiding principle. I'm okay with things like the Bible or the Ten Commandments being taught or discussed as a matter of history because they're obviously of enormous historical and civic import, but they shouldn't be promoted without other options and arguments and religions being represented as well. And it definitely shouldn't be mandatory in all cases. You must display this. To me, that does run afoul of the Establishment Clause of the Constitution and isn't appropriate in public schools. But the really funny aspect of this story to me was pointed out by a Democratic lawmaker who is opposed to this in Texas, that in passing this legislation, they violated the Ten Commandments. Let's take a listen to this clip.
What is the fourth commandment?
Keep the Sabbath.
Part of keeping the Sabbath holy is not working on the Sabbath.
That is, yeah.
What day is the Jewish Sabbath?
It is on Saturday.
And what day is it today?
It is Saturday. Here we are.
The Christian Sabbath is what day?
Sunday, in honor of the day that Jesus rose from the dead.
And we're scheduled to give this bill a final vote on what day of the week?
It's ironic, isn't it?
Would you be willing to postpone your bill so that we're not breaking the Ten Commandments by working on the Jewish or Christian Sabbath?
I love that you said that because
you're saying that you'd rather tell people to follow the Ten Commandments than follow it yourself?
I would have rather have had this bill passed the other day when it was time.
We as a legislature are about to force every teacher in the state to post the Ten Commandments in their classrooms.
If they are donated.
Do members of the Texas legislature follow the Ten Commandments?
So again, this bill is about honoring our historical, educational, and judicial heritage with the displaying of the Ten Commandments. You know, it is incumbent on all of us to follow God's law.
So I have to be honest, I think his point was made effectively. If you are going to force every teacher in your state to display and teach the Ten Commandments, you should probably not openly violate them while passing the law enacting that requirement. Hot take, but you probably shouldn't do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But I just found this funny. I do think it's unfortunately part of a broader trend away from kind of classical liberal ideas of things like the separation of church and state, which is a valid and important civic principle to me. And maybe it's emerging out of the hostility towards Christianity we saw culturally and legally, like trying to force the cake baker to bake the cake. But to me, it's also wrong to force the atheist teacher to teach the Ten Commandments to students in public schools who many of whom aren't Christian, and their parents might strongly object to it. A lot of our politics these days does come down to pendulum swings, going one way and then swinging back too far in the opposite direction. And maybe this is a part of that, but it's definitely something I'm concerned to see playing out in states across the country, not just Texas. What do you think? Do you support forcing teachers to teach the Ten Commandments? Let me know in the comments. And regardless, please do make sure to subscribe if you aren't yet. Do hit that like button before you go. Send in voice notes, check out the merch, subscribe to my second channel, yada, yada, yada. Thank you to Opus Clip for sponsoring today's episode, and we'll talk again real soon.